Today, on December 9th, David Uible was sentenced for his pled down election falsification by Judge Richard Ferenc. Judge Ferenc was at best intentionally misleading, at worst outright lying from the bench during a 10-minute front end of the hearing where it was again the Chris Hicks show of him talking about Chris Hicks this, Chris Hicks that. He misled on the appeals court, he misled on Tommy BIxler's request to be classified as a victim and let me be his victim advocate. So Tommy BIxler submitted a letter on November 5th. If you remember, BIxler was running against Uible in the primary, and you're going to hear Judge Ferenc read this paragraph also within this video, but here's the paragraph you're going to hear Judge Ferenc read. It's paragraph 2 of Mr. BIxler's letter. It says, "In the plea hearing on October 25th, 2019, Judge Ferenc, you denied Chris Hicks' request to speak. At about 4 minutes into the audio of that hearing, Judge Ferenc, you stated that a reason he could not speak was that he was not a candidate for the office of commissioner. Quote, he was not in any way a candidate for that position, end quote. Your Honor, I was a candidate for that office. I was running against Mr. Uible. I was a part of the original petition protest to the Claremont County Board of Elections. Judge Ferenc, I was a victim even by your own remarks." What you're going to hear is Judge Ferenc read that paragraph. Then you're going to hear the actual audio that this letter refers to, the audio at 4 minutes in. Then right after that, you're going to hear the audio that Judge Ferenc had played in the courtroom to try to delegitimize what this letter from Tommy BIxler said. It is outright misleading, if not an outright lie on the part of Judge Ferenc. But let's start first with Judge Ferenc reading the same paragraph that I just read.
Read that into the record. In the plea hearing on October 25, 2019, Judge Ferenc, you denied Chris Hicks' request to speak. At about 4 minutes into the audio of the hearing, Judge Ferenc, you stated that a reason he could not speak was that he was not a candidate for the office of commissioner. He puts in parentheses and in quotation marks, he was not in any way a candidate for that position. Your Honor, I was, and it's emphasized, I was a candidate for that office. I was, emphasized, running against Mr. Uible. I was, emphasized, a part of the original petition protest to the Claremont County Board of Elections. Judge Ferenc, I was a victim even by your own remarks.
Now, I'm going to play for you the actual audio from the October 25th plea deal, the actual audio referred to in Tommy BIxler's letter. Listen to it.
It's my understanding that it was his own petition, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And not another person's petition, certainly not anything that involved Mr. Hicks directly. Mr. Hicks was not running for the county commission in that primary. He was not in any way a candidate for that position, but he claims direct and proximate harm. And as I understand the terms, the general definitions of those terms, because those terms are not defined in the constitutional amendment.
So that was the actual audio at 4 minutes in that was referenced in Tommy BIxler's letter, where it quotes the audio, quote, he was not in any way a candidate for that position, end quote. Now what I'm going to do is play for you the audio that Judge Ferenc played in the courtroom today. What did he play in the courtroom? He didn't play this audio. He played a different part of the audio. That is intentionally misleading, if not an outright lie. And when I start dissecting everything that he did through this hearing, you're going to find that this guy is about as deep state swamp as they come and manipulates things. People like to say I manipulate stuff. I don't manipulate stuff, folks. What I do is scare the hell out of these people for calling them out on the way that they manipulate things.
For over 2 years, and again, direct and proximate is not defined. You have to look at the usual definition of those terms, and I don't find that Mr. Hicks has been directly and proximate harmed. The person who was directly and proximately harmed was in fact the candidate himself, Mr. Uible. If it had been Mr. Hicks' petition, and Mr. Uible was a circulator, and he did that, then Mr. Hicks probably would have been a person that was harmed. I was a member of the Board of Elections for 8.5 years from about 1990.
So now you've heard the paragraph from Tommy BIxler's letter, read by me, read by Judge Ferenc. You've heard the actual audio clip referred to in the Tommy BIxler letter, and then you've heard what did Ferenc actually play as if it was the audio clip referred to in Tommy BIxler's letter. Just outright fraudulent on the part of a judge. This is a judge. This is a person that's supposed to be working for our interest. Now, I'm going to put out more stuff over time at every step of the way how this judge, in what you heard, was intentionally deceptive and misleading about the appeals court, about what was said in different things. It's the modus operandi of a deep state judge. It's got to be stopped and it's got to be exposed. But what I've put here is a full about 3-minute clip because Judge Ferenc actually read the paragraph from BIxler's letter after he played the audio. So what I want to do to make sure, so I don't get accused of manipulating something, this is a full 3-minute clip. But also in the post I'll make on this, I will have links to the full raw audio from today, December 9th, and the full raw audio from October 25th when the plea happened. So you can go through them in great detail and study them. Folks, this is an important point. I had somebody say to me at one point that was very much against me. They said to me, I started to think, what if Chris Hicks is right? What if Chris Hicks is right? And these other people that keep claiming Chris Hicks is misleading, he's manipulating, he's fabricating, I don't do any of that stuff, okay? I always put the full video, the full audio, I put it all out there. And I tell you what, I would never do the type of dishonest, misleading, corrupt thing that Judge Ferenc did in what you just saw. Played an audio clip different than the audio clip referred to in the Tommy BIxler letter to be intentionally misleading. This guy should not be on the bench. So here's the 3-minute clip, and then in the post there'll be links to the full audio and the full video for both, full audio for the hearing on 10/25 and the full video for the hearing on 12/9.
So that there's no misunderstanding of what I said on October the 25th, I'm going to replay a pertinent part of that. October the 25th, I'm going to replay a pertinent part of that record. And Mr. Wiles, if you play that, I have set that to ask Mr. Wiles to play the audio recording, and we need to set it. It was at 9 o'clock, 9:42 and 35 seconds. Is that precise on the recording? So if you can cue that up. For over 2 years, and again, direct proximate is not defined. You have to look at the usual definition of those terms, and I don't find that Mr. Hicks has been directly and proximately harmed. The person who was directly and proximately harmed was in fact the candidate himself, Mr. Uible. If it had been Mr. Hicks's petition, and Mr. Uible was a circulator, and he did that, then Mr. Hicks probably would have been a person that was harmed. I was a member of the Board of Elections for 8.5 years from about 1990. As I indicated at that time, Mr. Hicks, addressing Mr. Hicks's petition, I indicated that had Mr. Hicks been a candidate for the commissioner's seat, and Mr. Uible had circulated Mr. Hicks's petition and tampered with it, which eliminated all the signatures on that petition, then perhaps Mr. Hicks would have been a victim in that case. Mr. BIxler, in the second paragraph of his request, sets out the basis for why he is to be considered a victim. And I will read that into the record. In the plea hearing on October 25, 2019, Judge Ferenc, you denied Chris Hicks' request to speak. At about 4 minutes into the audio of the hearing, Judge Ferenc, you stated that a reason he could not speak was that he was not a candidate for the office of commissioner. He puts in parentheses and in quotation marks, he was not in any way a candidate for that position. Your Honor, I was, and it's emphasized, I was a candidate for that office. I was, emphasized, running against Mr. Uible. I was, emphasized, a part of the original petition protest to the Claremont County Board of Election. Judge Ferenc, I was a victim even by your own remarks.